Hello and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, do me a huge favor and click that subscribe button down below for content like this behind me and many more. For all your current subscribers, thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. This video is going to be a quick comparison video. The 2024 Mazda CX-90 versus the 2023 Honda Pilot Touring all-wheel drive. Unfortunately, the elite version of the Honda Pilot was not available. This vehicle has provided to me by Curry Honda in Yorktown Heights, New York. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, come see my man Christian. He will take care of you and the fine folks here at Yorktown at Curry Honda. All right, let's get started. All right, let's get started just in the outside. So of course, very drastic design language for both of them. So here you have the latest version of Mazda Kodo design language. So you have very small little headlights right there. And I reviewed this video as well. I reviewed the CX-90 individually, so I'll leave the link up here for this particular review of this video. But anyway, very bold grille, kind of cascading grille in the front. You have parking sensors in the front integrated, full LED headlights, high low beam adaptive lighting as well. This particular trim, because it's the 3.3 turbo premium plus, is the highest trim, so it has heads up display, Napa leather seats, versus this one. This only has traditional leather seats because the trim that has equal equipment to this is the elite and it's not available. But anyway, let's just walk around both of them. This one is 202 inches long. It's riding on 21-inch wheels, wrapped in 275/45 tires, very big tires. This powertrain on this one is an inline 6, turbo inline 6 with a mild hybrid system. What that means is it has an electric motor behind the motor between the transmission and the engine. And let's walk around this one. And of course, Mazda's design language has come a long way. This Kodo Design 2.0 is very big. It's very nice. And let's take a look at the cargo area of the CX-90. So this is with the third row folded. It's actually very massive. I will leave the cubic inches in here inserted in the video. You do have, of course, climate vents, but I did the review of this video, so it's not going to be an in-depth. This is more like a quick side-by-side comparison. And now let's open the trunk of the Honda Pilot Touring all-wheel drive. Stickers for this, as tested, is $48,000. And the space behind the third seat is very similar. I will find out the dimensions and the cubic inches of this one and leave it inserted in the video. And of course, this is a third row vehicle. You do have a center console between both seats, so it becomes captain's chairs, and you can make it a third person can sit back there. So technically it's a 8-passenger vehicle. All right, now let's go over the Honda Pilot's design language. So the Honda Pilot has a very different approach than the CX-90. The CX-90 has a very curvaceous, almost like luxury car styling. This is more traditional, upright, boxy SUV. You do have functional exhaust back here. Thank you, Honda, for not putting fake exhaust. So you got exhaust right there. Oh, and excuse me, I take that back. They're not real, they're fake. The exhaust is underneath. They're underneath there. You do have parking sensors all around the back of the car. And walking around this, the Honda Pilot's come a long way as well. This one is sitting on Bridgestone Alenza tires, and the wheels on this particular vehicle these are 255/50 on 20-inch wheels. So they're a little smaller. The tire is not as aggressive as the CX-90. And styling wise, this is more upright, more boxy, a very bold front end. You have a giant Honda logo in the front, which hides the radar cruise control in the rear. You do have cameras in the front in both of them. All right, let's take a look at the interior of the 2023 Honda Pilot. So let's go inside the Pilot real quick. And stepping in here again, keep in mind this is the touring version of the Honda Pilot. This is not the Elite, so the equipment is not going to be apples, apples and oranges. It's going to be a little different, but overall it's nice. Soft padded door panel materials, imitation wood here, which basically piano black. This vehicle does have memory seating for 2 drivers, which will remember the steering wheel. The seat, and I'm sure it remembers the mirrors. Deep pockets right here, which is very nice. Another little cubby right there. Full power seats, of course. And these are leather. These are not Napa leather seats like in the Mazda, but let's step inside. And let me lower the fan speed a little bit, because it is very steamy. And off the bat, this vehicle does not have a heated seats in this particular trim, which is a missed opportunity for, it does have, it does have heated seats right here. No cooling seats. You have to go all the way to the Elite trim of the Honda. The infotainment screen is also on the small side, because this is not the Elite. So you have to get the Elite, and the Elite will be the bigger screen, just like the 2023 Honda Accord that I reviewed. I'll leave the link up in the video somewhere. Materials are very nice. The steering wheel is very nice and tidy. You have infotainment controls here on the left, cruise control button on the right, automatic headlights. You do have no automatic wipers in this particular trim, no heads-up display as well, but the seats feel comfortable. You do have a wireless charger right here. You got a little cubby. These are the controls for the transmission. So you got park, you got reverse, and this vehicle does have, of course, backup camera with trajectory, and you can change the angles. Unlike the Mazda, this screen is fully touchscreen. The Mazda screen is not. You need to use a rotary dial. You got neutral, and you got drive here, and then parking brake. You do have engine start stop to turn it on and off. Downhill assist. You have different drive modes. So you have sport, econ, snow, trail, sand, and towing. And engine start stop buttons right here, red. You do have dual zone climate, automatic climate control. It does have climate control for the rear passengers, and there you can activate them, turn them on. I do like this little cubby here, which is very nice. Glove box is a decent size, and the seats are nice. These are not Napa leather, but they are leather seats, real leather seats. There is a look at the panoramic sunroof. This also has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and I believe it is wireless, but I will double check and insert the information if it is wireless or not. All right, let's take a look. Let's jump in the back seat of the Honda Pilot real quick. So my tester here is $50,700 as tested. This has integrated sunshade, just like the CX-90, which I will demonstrate that earlier or later. And the seats back here, they look okay. I am 5'8". The seat is adjusted to how I drive, and plenty of leg room, and also, let me flip the camera, plenty of headroom as well. So, and you do have controls here for the climate control for the rear, which is very nice. And you do have USB ports down there. The seats are not heated in this particular trim. Deep pockets right here, which is cool, very nice and useful. And you have this giant center console that it is removable. So you got 2 cup holders back here, and then if you want to lift this thing, let me see if I can do this. Oh, you got to press this little tab here, and then that releases it, and then you can lift it. See if I could do this with one hand. It might be a little difficult to do. Oh, there it goes. All right, so you pull like this, and then you have a third seat here. So 3 people can technically sit back here. And decent sized sunroof as well, moonroof, just like the CX-90. I think it looks a little bigger. It comes a little further back than the CX-90. And You do have big cup holders on the doors, power windows, of course. So let's jump into third seat of the Pilot. And getting in the back in the third seat here is a little easier than on the CX-90. Two ways. You can do it this button over here, or you can just press the button on the back. So when you press this button here, it just rolls forward. You step inside, and not too bad. Back here, it seems a little tighter than the CX-90, if I gotta be honest. The CX-90 looks like it is bigger back here than the Honda. And you do have a climate vent there, USB-C. You do have two cup holders. And again, I'm 5'8", so I am not, a giant, but I can tell immediately that it does feel a little tighter back here than in the CX-90. All right, let's jump into the CX-90, and we can finalize this conclusion of this side-by-side video of both vehicles. So let's jump into the CX-90. And this vehicle, of course, the engine is a 3.5 liter V6, which, let me open the hood so you guys can see the powertrain on this one. It's a naturally aspirated V6 making 285 horsepower. And here we go. This is making 285 horsepower and made it to a 10-speed automatic. Thank you, Honda, for not pulling a CVT. And it's a decent motor. Power, I'm sure, is deficient. I will do a separate video on this Pilot later on to drive it, to give you guys driving impressions of how it is to drive it. And all right, let's take a look at the CX-90. And styling wise of the Pilot, again, also full LED headlights in the front, LED turn signals, no fog lights, just like in the Mazda, but they are functional. You do have functional parking sensors in the front. But let's jump into the CX-90. And off the bat, this one here feels like a luxury car already. Just looking at the materials, the fit and finish in here, it's just superb compared to the Honda. I mean, this thing, if you cover that badge, you will think you're in a very premium, higher. The screen is larger here. This is a 12.3-inch screen. This does have wireless CarPlay, Android Auto. This is a suede material all around. You do have real wood trim, big cup holders. This is the controller for the Mazda Connect infotainment system, which, if you're new to it, it might take a little bit getting used to, but that's okay. Sadly, it's not a touchscreen when you don't have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto running, but this it does both wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. So, just like the Honda, this does have an LCD infotainment screen. LCD instrument cluster, and of course it is configurable. You do have different modes here. So you have sport, and you see it turns red and changes the mode, and then you go back to normal, and then you have a little bit off-road mode, which turns it on and it changes and activates the compass. And of course this vehicle does have 360 camera as well, with different modes. The Honda does not have 360 because it's the touring version. I believe the Elite has 360 camera, and you could change the different angles. That's the vehicle all around. The shifter here is a completely different shifter than in the Honda. So you got to put your foot on the brake, push the button, and you got to go side and then down for drive, and then go all the way up and to the left to go to park. You have downhill assist, just like the Honda, and you have this button activates the camera front, and you can see pretty much all around. There's the controls for the infotainment, electronic parking brake, auto brake hold, navigation, media, back button, home button, and then this rotary dial, you can select all the different options from information, entertainment, communication, navigation, and settings. You can click to select, and this is your favorite buttons, volume up and down. You can click for mute. This center console is a bifold design versus the Honda is a traditional. You do have two USB-Cs in there, and the cubby in this one is decent size as well. And these seats, being that this is the high trim, this is a Napa leather seats, so this is the highest grade version in the CX-90. And this also has a panoramic sunroof, which is a first for Mazda, because Mazda has not done panoramic sunroof. And all right, let's take a look at the back seat of the CX-90. Oh, before we do that, let's just take a quick look at the engine and talk about the power numbers compared to the Honda. So underneath this hood lives a all new 3.3 liter inline six that is making 340 horsepower in this particular version and 369 pounds-feet of torque. Made it to a Mazda first 8-speed automatic. Is all-wheel drive is standard. No matter which trim do you get all-wheel drive standard. Unlike the Honda, you do have to pay for all-wheel drive, sadly, and it's not standard across the board. So let's jump inside. Let's jump in the back seat of the CX-90. And this door is massive. I can't open it because I don't want to hit that Honda, but stepping back here, I am 5'8". Let me recline the seat a little bit. The seat does recline. I have plenty of leg room. Of course, I can move this seat a little back, and I have even more leg room if nobody's sitting in the third seat. Plenty of leg room. You do have controls here for the rear climate right here. This one has heated and cool seats back here, USB-C. Again, this is the most expensive version of the CX-90, so unfortunately the elite version of that was not available, so to do a fair comparison. But I'll probably circle back. And you do have climate vents. Back here you have another center console, and you have another center console back here, two cup holders. You do have a little cubby right here. This center console, it is not removable, it's fixed. In the Honda, it is. In the Honda, you can remove the center console and have a pass-through. Center console here is deep storage. And it is very hot, so I have the air conditioner running on both of them because it is a very hot day. Just like the Honda, this also has shades, sun blockers. We got shade. We do have LED lighting all over the cabin. Also a nice black suede hairliner. And let's now jump into the third seat, which here is a little different than in the Honda. Oh, let me get that seat up before I can go back there. So you do have to press here, this button right here, and that slides it forward. Same thing like the Honda, you got two-step here and getting in. And again, I am a 5'8". And if the seat stays the way it is, I have plenty of leg room here. I am comfortable back here. This also has climate vents. I would knock Mazda a little bit because these vents are a little on the low side. They should have been a little higher, in my opinion. Also, you have USB cup holders and USB-C back here and two cup holders. But off the bat, I can tell that this back here does feel a little larger than in the Honda. So, all right, let me get out of here. All right. Put the seat back and recline it. They both also recline. And cargo behind the CX-90 is also large. I will leave the dimensions for both in the description, inside the video. So this is what it looks like with both seats up behind the Mazda. So that's how it looks like. And just another quick comparison in the Pilot So we can see, and I would say they're very similar. I mean, this one is 200 inches long, that's 202 inches longer, 202, excuse me, so 2 inches longer than the Pilot. But this one has more an upright traditional SUV style. Oh, and you do have a very deep cubby back here, unlike the Mazda, where the Mazda does not have, excuse me, let me move this out of the way so you guys can see. This has a very deep well over here, which is actually an additional storage back there, and it looks like the spare tires underneath the car, not inside the car like the Mazda. There's a speaker right there. So let me put these mats in there. Let's put this cover back on. Of course, they're both power operated tailgates with height adjustable for both. The Mazda has a lock button, so you can lock it while you closing the tailgate. Let me flip the camera a little bit here, and this has been my quick comparison video of the Mazda CX-90 versus the 2023 Honda Pilot Touring Edition all-wheel drive. I want to thank again Curry Honda in Yorktown Heights, New York, for allowing me to review this, do this quick video by loaning me this Honda Pilot next to me. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, come see my man Christian at Curry Honda in Yorktown Heights. Thank you all for watching. If you're new, just do me a favor and subscribe to the button down below. And I will see you all in the next one. Take care and stay safe.